Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back. Today we're going to be continuing our mini series. Finally got the head back right here. It's decked. We got new valves, exhaust, and intake. Because apparently, according to them, they said that the um, all of the exhaust ones were bent. This one most definitely was bent right there. And that they also said that some of the valve guides were also fucked up, which kind of sucks. Apparently they were. I don't know. These look kind of all right to me. Probably harder for you guys to tell on camera. I had intake ones already, so I just had them replace those, and they were like, "Well, you might as well replace all of them." So I was like, "Okay," but they said all the exhaust ones were bent. So I mean, I don't know if you guys could see that right there. If they are, I really don't think they were, but whatever. They already took me for my money. This this was expensive. Should have just went to the junkyard and got another one. But you live and you learn. So today we're gonna be rebuilding the head. We're gonna be putting all of our lifters on it and the cams back on, as well as the Vanos whole Vanos cam. So yeah, I gotta clean up that area a little bit, but once it's clean, next thing will be me putting it in. Alrighty then, you guys, so here we are. We are at the head, right here at the table, the engine workshop table. So what they ended up doing with the head in the machine shop is that they replaced all of the exhaust valves as well as all of the exhaust valve guides. They said all of them were bent. Looking at them inside the box, I don't really see them bent, but I digress. Usually one of the first things you want to do when you're working on a head that just came from the machine shop is clean it. I looked around all the crevices and stuff, and I really don't see any residue of like metal shavings or anything, even inside like the oil galleys. Like I would show you, but it's just a pain to like keep setting up the camera. So down here you'll have a T40 or maybe like a T35 Torx fitting. That's like the oil pressure like relief valve or like recirculating valve. And taking that out and looking down in there through that oil galley all the way to the other side, it's clean. There's not really anything else being hit or anything or being dirty like that. So I think we're pretty much fine here. Um, but yeah, man. So first things first that we want to do is, make sure you have your cleaners with you. I got my coffee filters right here. When you use like anything besides like a microfiber, it will leave residue behind. With this, you should not leave anything behind though, which is one of the awesome things, and they're cheap. This is like 200, and I got this for like 10 bucks. So not too bad. Not too bad. I'm sure you can find them cheaper if you go to an actual like store that has a coffee section. I just got this from Amazon. First things first is we're going to, make sure you have everything labeled. I don't remember if I recorded me taking this head apart. I thought I did, but I just might have not. So sorry if I didn't. But if I did, then you will remember that the first cam on the exhaust side. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you see that it's got a pretty bad score, but honestly, I'm not worried about it. These BMW engines tend to not give a fuck about that. Um, I've seen plenty of people, even like on the more less reliable engines, say that they're perfectly fine. So I'm all good with it. I guess we could just put in our exhaust lifters, which I have sitting over here. And let's go ahead and just start pulling some out. So there are, yeah, here we go. Nice and filled up. So you can see they do not squeeze. They don't collapse at all. So that's how you know it's good. All of the old exhaust ones were shot, dude. Done for. Real bad. Like, watch, I think I have one right here. Hella movement. I even went in with the pin because the way you can bleed these is you get like a pin, you point it in here, and then you start plunging it, and it should take out all the old oil, and you have it submerged, and it should start getting stiff again. But look, it's just collapsed. I'm sure the spring in there is like really stretched, like collapse wise, so it can't withstand anything anymore. So that's why I also had to buy all new lifters, which sucks. So this is an intake one. I did have to buy like 3 new intakes because those were squished as well. Let's see here. And yeah, so I'll just time lapse this and we'll get right to it. Real quick, let me just hop in here. I really want to say, like, so guess how much it was for everything. So I bought the valves and I also bought the valve guides myself. So they didn't upcharge me on anything like that. But the overall cost, go ahead, put it down in the comments of what you think it was for getting the head surfaced, inspected, replace the valve guides, and of course all the valves. Valve guides were only one side, the exhaust. I'll give you a second. It was $590. On the phone, bro told me it was only going to be $540, or actually $520, because it was originally $400. But all of a sudden, it's different. But it's whatever, man. It's just the name of the game when it comes to this shit. So that's just how it is. I'm just happy that I'm gonna finally get this car done, out of my way, and sold. Real quick, I want to just say thank you for watching the Subaru video. I know I just said that over again, but like I really do. I want you guys to know that like I really do appreciate you, even though you can't see my face. I really do appreciate the likes, all the views. You guys are amazing. I promise I'll post more about the Subaru. It's just, you know, it's been hectic trying to with the licensing and everything, but we should be fine now. I got it, so cool. There's that, and then next thing we want to do is get our roller rockers. So we got these right here. Let me go grab the brake clean, and then we're gonna clean these, oil them up, and put them on. This is the exhaust side. I got the intake side right over here. So be back in just a second. All right, so we got the exhaust and intake rollers on. So now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to be installing our intake cam. So first things first is I do want to come in here with a coffee filter. Just want to give this a quick little wipe. You know, it's a little dirty, so I want to definitely just see if we can get most of this off. At least the dirty part of it. Go. Nothing too bad, just slightly dirty. Now, I've already checked if there's any like metal shavings in the exhaust and the intake ports. There are none, so we're good there. And like I mentioned earlier, I looked at the oil galleys, so that's fine. Usually if you get a lot of machine work done, like ported exhaust or intake ports, or like, you know, you get like crazy, like, you know, this like recentered, you know, with like a line hone, then yeah, like you would definitely want to like go in and start blowing everything out. But you know, there's really I don't really feel a need to. I think it's gonna be just fine. We are gonna need to clean the cam though, because if I grab the cam here, you see this dirty girl, pretty dirty. So just gonna spend a little bit of time cleaning it, and then I'll get back to you guys when we install it. Sorry about that, my camera died, but I got the cam caps on. I tightened them by hand using my little 1/4 inch ratchet. It is an 8mm, and here is the torque sequence. Hopefully you guys can see that. But yeah, so what it is we start from this one. This is our 1 and our 2, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, that's what we do. I have my torque wrench right here. The torque value is 10 Newton meters. All of them are torqued down to the correct specification. And then basically we want to repeat that onto the next side. First, we're going to need to grab our Vanos cam because that's the one that goes here. And then we'll start building everything up from there. Also, don't forget when you're done using your torque wrench that is a spring style like this, you want to back it all the way until it is at 0 again. All right, so I just set my torque wrench back to where it says. For me, it says store at 1.1 Newton meters or at 10 inch-pounds. So we're good there. Now what we want to do is clean up our Vanos cam and set that in. And then we'll start building everything else from there. I'll just bring you into a montage, and if there's anything else I need to talk about specifically when it comes to building it, I'll get back with you guys. But let's get right into it. Alrighty then, you guys, so here is the shaft. I don't know, I should have looked to see if I did record this and posted it, but in case I didn't, this was like completely covered up in just varnish, all black. I put it in the parts washer, got it nice and clean, and wow, this damn near looks brand new. But in doing so, all the degreaser, I'm pretty sure just took all the oil that was in between these bearings because these move. So the whole shaft moves independent from this. This is supposed to stay still when it's clamped on by everything. So what we want to do first of all is we want to oil up each one of these, and then we'll wipe all the oil off of the mating surface of where they're going to be sitting here, and then we'll just continue on from there. So give me one quick second. So yeah, you just want to oil it until you hear the little bearing rattle go away. This pretty much went away. And next, what we want to do is grab a rag, wipe our finger off. All right, so now that that's all oiled up, you want to make sure your hands are clean, just so you don't put any more oil onto it. And then just go ahead and wipe the whole thing, wipe these surfaces too. And then once you're done wiping everything, you're ready to place it in. Now I think it does have enough seating pressure to not matter if there's oil on this, but I definitely just want to be extra sure, just so that way, you know, we don't have the Vanos kicking in at the wrong time or anything, or like for a split second, because the split second that it does could mean engine failure. So just really want to make sure that dry off all the oil that's sitting on the outside. I just wanted to refill it because after cleaning it, it took all of it out. So it's gonna get plenty of more when it's running. Let's go ahead and set it in. There we go. Sits in, spins freely, doesn't bind up or anything. Bearings sound a little unhappy, but I mean, what are you gonna do? I don't feel like replacing them. So, all right, we got our eccentric shaft in. I think it wants to be all the way to this position, if I'm not mistaken, because when it's like that, I don't know what position it's supposed to sit in. We'll see once we put the Vanos solenoid in exactly where it's supposed to be sitting. But awesome. Now let's go ahead and we are going to set in our little, these are like the Vanos rocker arms right here. So this is what does the, you know, like the VVT engagement. They're super dirty, so I'm gonna give them a clean, and then I'll just cut back into a little montage of me putting them in. All right, so your follower rollers should be something like that, right there on top of the cam. And that should be all good. Now we're gonna put the big part on right now. Just make sure, I'm just gonna make sure I clean where the surfacing meets up. Just to give it that much more, you know, surety that it's gonna be all torqued down correctly. Alrighty then, you guys, so I don't know where we left off, but so I got the whole Vanos assembly on. It was a pain in the ass because this cam cap would not line up, this far one over here, would not line up to the block dowels or to the head dowels. So what ended up having, like I thought there was something wrong, maybe the spring wasn't letting it sit on correctly, but in reality what it was, the cam slid forward. So I had to put a little pry bar right here and just a little pressure right here, and it slid it back. And then I was able to get it all into place, and now we're all good there. Next, you want to do 8 or 10 Newton meters. So go ahead, get that on your torque wrench, and then we will continue. All right, there we go. All torqued up. All the roller pins are still in place. All of the regular roller pins that go on the valves are still on the valves. That's something you gotta make sure of. Oh no. Fuck, I think I might have just seen one that isn't. But it's just barely not on there. Let me go grab a flathead and try to knock that on there. Ooh. There we go. We got that one on. Thankfully, it was only like halfway off, so I was able to use a pry bar to slip it back on, because otherwise I don't know if I'd be able to produce enough pressure to fight against everything else that it's on. We're all good. Yeah, very important that you make sure that all of those are aligned, because if they aren't, you're not gonna have a great time. One is gonna open a whole lot more than the other. So now that all that's left is to hook up our rear caps that go, you know, back here and stuff. So let me go ahead and prep these all up, and then we'll slap them in. Alrighty then, you guys, so here we go. Head is all put together. We got our eccentric shaft and all the Vanos stuff in, so that's all good. One thing, make sure this is facing the other way. I guess mine must have flipped around when I had it that way, but it's fine. I should be able to push through the force of all of the rollers, no problem. So just gonna do that 180, because that's supposed to be screwed in all the way, so that when you put it in, it's gonna correctly turn the gear all the way forward, and it's not gonna break your Vanos solenoid. Those are expensive, even though I think mine's broken, so I might have to go ahead to the junkyard and see if I can find one. Anyway, don't forget to put RTV on the seam where there's a little indent in the head, and also all these bolts are 10 Newton meters as well, so don't forget that. And yeah, man, so I think I'm gonna leave it here for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everyone who watched the previous videos. You guys got the Subaru video to like almost 200 now. I know earlier I said like 120 or something, but I just checked and it's like 200. So thank you so much. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that way you get updated when we release more content. And more Subaru and Mini videos will be coming. Next video, it might just be one video of getting the car started and like installing the head and all that. Still debating on what to do, but I might do some more things off camera. Anyway, let me stop yapping. Thank you so much. Catch you on the next one. Peace.